The 2025 design entrance exam season has just kick-started with the 5th of January's NID exams. NID B.Des and NID M.Des exams have been conducted, and I hope most of you have attempted it comfortably well. You're all confident after writing the exam that you'll all be getting into the studio test, and after that, following that, you will be getting into the NIDs. So we have the next exams also lined up, the UCEED and also the NIFT exams that are lined up. But before that, let's do a very quick, short question paper analysis of the NID's B.Des question paper, which was conducted on the 5th of January, 2025. So with me to discuss about the question paper and to do the question paper analysis, we have the academic head of THiNC Institute of Design, Sachin sir. Sachin sir, welcome to the session.
Thank you so much. So hope I'm clearly audible.
Yes, you're clearly audible, sir. So to start off with, what do you think? There were a few changes, but the pattern still remained the same, but there is a lot into drawing part that has come up this time. So what are your initial takeaways after discussing or getting to know about the questions?
Okay. So like Suraj sir mentioned, the design examinations has been kicked off with the NID examinations. So I was there in one of the examination centers today, and I got the opportunity to discuss with the students, our alumni also, regarding this year's examination. So we have so much expectations, like what will be that, the kind of pattern. So will there be any change in pattern or the type of questions? So what surprises are there for which has been given by NET this year? So before the students getting into the examination hall, these were the concerns and questions. Will there be any kind of changes in the pattern? So such kind of things. So at last, finally, when they get out of the examination hall, I think I have seen a lot of some happy faces this year. So we are getting some different perspective on the examinations. I think majority of the aim responding as the moderate and easy examinations this year. I think we can get into more into the analysis section when we discuss more about it.
Sure. Let's hold our punches and let's start with the question paper analysis of it. Okay, so here it is. Welcome everyone once again to the question paper analysis. So we'll start off with a very brief summary of what exactly happened in the question paper. So the weightage as expected was standing at 25 and 75. So most of you already know in the 2024 year also they had kept it at 25 and 75. 25 was for the aptitude part, which had MCQ questions and all. And 75 was for the drawing part. But this time the twist was there was also MCQ questions probably that were included in the drawing part also. So 25-75 ratio remains the same. It said that most of the questions were relatively easier. However, there weren't questions on product design or sequence drawing, storyboard questions and all. Aptitude portion was very easy. There weren't much of arithmetic or mathematics related questions. There weren't any questions that had actually come up. There were higher number of drawing questions compared to the last year. There were higher number of drawing questions. And even because of that, there was more of ideation that was to be done. And it was time consuming. So time management was one of the most important things. Again, it's highlighting the importance of doing mock exams, repeated mock exams, repeated mock test papers in the exact exam conditions. The importance of that is getting highlighted. Now, out of the 25 marks that were coming for the aptitude section, there were two sets, 1 mark questions and 2 mark questions. 15 questions were of 1 mark and 5 questions were of 2 marks. So 15 plus 5 into 2, that's 10. 15 plus 10, that's 25 marks. And in certain centers, it said that part A was given initially and there was a break of, not break, they were given 20 minutes to answer part A. And later on, after that, after the initial 20 minutes, that's a 10-20, they were given the part B questions. In certain other centers, they were saying that part A and part B, both of that was given together. So in the center wherein I was there, so it was part A and part B that was given together at the same time at 10 o'clock. Okay. And very interestingly, there was also some importance that was given for writing. That is, for example, mentioning solutions and things like that. So there's a slight more importance on conveying your ideas using written text also. We will look at all of that in detail. So as we've already mentioned, so we had ran a poll in our B.Des online community in WhatsApp and also in Instagram and Telegram. And most of them actually had to say that the exam was relatively moderate or easier. So around 80% of them tends to feel that it was relatively easier. So I think that was a really nice thing. But hold on, let's wait for the cutoffs to also come up if the exams are being really easy. Let's see. Let's see that. Let's move ahead to the part A. Yeah. Before that, so debate is there was 100 marks just in case if you're watching this for the first time, students who are preparing for 2026 and all. So the NID B.Des that prelims weightage is 40% and mains studio test is 60%. In that 40%, there is 100 marks 3-hour question that they conduct. That is NID B.Des that prelims. Aptitude part is 25%, 25 marks, and drawing part is 75 marks. Okay. So moving on, there were non-verbal reasoning. There was questions on general knowledge, logo-based questions that had come up, very basic science questions also that had come up, but there weren't any questions on arithmetic or mathematics related questions that were there. Okay, so counting the number of triangles or number of circles, counting the number of figures were there, analog clock based questions were there. If you're going into general knowledge, there are lots of questions on logos that had actually come up, right? So there's questions on ICICI Bank or Central Vigilance Commission, CVCs. I think that's one of the questions that was repeated. It was there in THiNC mock test also. So CVC's logo was given and they had to identify which organization that belonged to. Then 4 different logos were given and they had to identify which one was relating to washing powder. I think it was Nirma, it was way too easy. Puzzle questions, color theory based questions, Paris Agreement, climate change. Obviously, it's something that's in news. So NID has a lot more fascination on, taking questions that were in news than a few common questions in common salt and silica, and what's the main reasons for sanctuaries, bird parks to be built, which among the following is not used to make sitar. So that was also one of the questions which we had asked in our Instagram DPQ. So DPQ, daily practice questions, is something that we conduct in our Instagram page, THiNC Institute's official Instagram page. So every day there will be a question that we usually conduct. Now, before we move on to the part B section, the drawing section, which should be taken by the academic head of THiNC Institute of Design, Sachin sir, we would like to highlight that there are 2 more exams that are coming up. One is the next in the corner is UCEED. So we have a special batch for UCEED, UCEED RapidX. UCEED RapidX has 7 live online classes and 2 mock tests of UCEED that will be there. We'll be starting that batch on 10th of January. Okay, so just 4 or 5 days that are left. And for that, there is a free mock exam, free All India mock exam for UC that we'll be conducting. We'll be conducting that on the 8th of January. Okay, so you can register using the QR code, or you could also contact this number that's provided, 8086111051. You could register for the UC mock test. You can write the exam. If you are in the top 10, you get the UCEED RapidX course, which is actually for 199, you get it for 100. Okay, so that is about UCEED. And there is also February 9th, we cannot forget the marathon exam of NIFT that's going to happen for the entire day, including CAT and GAT. So for that also, we have a national level All India free online mock test conducted by THiNC Institute. So the exam would be on the 24th of January. You can write that if you are in the top 10, you will get the NIFT XLR8 course, which is basically a revision, short revamp course exclusively for the NIFT B.Des entrance exams 2025, which is going to be conducted on February. So it will be starting, the batch starts on 27th of January. And before that, you have an all India free THiNC NIFT mock test on the 24th of January. Okay. Now, those students who are interested in joining the things, repeaters batches, be it B.Des repeaters batches or BArch repeaters batches, they have a special anniversary offer. It's the 15th year of THiNC Institute. And we're giving everyone a 5% course fee discount for that. So all you have to do is you have to pre-book your seats before the 31st of March. We have given the numbers, 5 branches. We have given the different numbers of all the 5 branches. Okay. So with that, we'll be moving on to the drawing part, the questions, quite interesting questions. There are lots of minor changes that they have done. So we will be taking it in detail with Sachin sir. Sachin sir.
Okay. The one thing which I have been noticed while they get out of the examination hall is about the aptitude section. I think for the most of them, they were pretty much happy about the aptitude section because they said it was much easier comparing to the last year. And also the nightmare, the quantitative aptitude section. There were no questions from the quantitative aptitude section this year. So I think that was also a plus for them. Most questions were related to non-verbal and also GK. And I hope every one of you guys has attended it well, the part A section. So, and
I think
you secured,
it's a dream come true for all
yeah,
NID aspirants. If there is no arithmetic, no mathematics, it's like
yes.
it's their perfect question paper.
So I guess that 25 marks is secure, I guess. Then coming back to the part B drawing section, I think when it comes to the NID examination, it's all about the part B, the drawing part. So what is that NID kept for this year? So that was the major question. While there be any kind of new kind of questions or any kind of pattern changes, I think it's quite similar to the last year. Like it is from the last year onwards, they have been introduced some section-based questions. So one question related to be the next one like that. So this year also that pattern has been recreated. So that pattern has been followed this year. And the drawing section was for 75 marks, which is exactly the last year's pattern. The 25-75 format was last year. And this year also it was 25-75 format. And drawing section was for 75 marks. And we have been expecting several kind of questions like product design and NID's all-time favorite, the storyboard, sequence drawing, but unfortunately, like those kind of questions, that personal favorites of Kennedy has been not been asked this year. No storyboard, no sequence drawing, no product design, and to ask something else, which was quite interesting also. And yeah, when come to the question section, so first one was related to the creative solution. I think that particular category of question has been always been there in the NID's Bachelor Design examination, the creative solution part. And this year, it has been like imagine two neighbors where the leaves from one neighbor's tree fall onto the other's property, causing tension between them, and propose four creative solutions to address the issue. And I think most of the students specifically mentioned about this particular question because getting four creative solutions was a task for them. And I think majority of them like specifically mentioned of this particular question. Proposing four creative solution was quite confusing and time consuming also. And I think majority, let's comment your opinion also regarding these questions also. So what was your experience on the drawing section as well? So that was the first question, the creative solution. So these type of questions has been a part of the NID's examination. So it is as expected. And the second one was a crow is observing a juice shop from outside in a market. Create a detailed depiction of the juice shop as seen from the crow's perspective. So these kind of question is also there in the NID's pattern. Like last year it was a rat view. One this year it's a crow view. I think NID is quite fascinated about the animals. So last year it was from bottom, and I think this year it was from the upside. So the perspective question was there. And quite interestingly, they have come up with a poster designing in connection with that particular question. I think that was quite interesting on the crow's perspective, claiming that crows are also entitled to enjoy juice. And I think it was one of the interesting questions this year, the poster designing, and quite interesting also, the connections between these kind of questions. And the third one was again like a problem solution kind of a creative solution. I think these kind of question was also there. I think uh, 1 year back, I guess there was a question like a designing a tab uh, means for the different kind of users like a child, an artist. So that kind of question was there. I think when I see this particular question, I just think about that particular question 1 year back. I think it quite similar, and this kind of question is always been expecting. like identifying the user group and defining a product for that. I think this is also kind of question which NID has been asked. And the fourth question was quite interesting. And the fourth one and the fifth one, which we are going to discuss, is one of the highlighted NID's question this year. And one question was an object, 4 to 5 views of that particular object has been given, and combine these images to create a singular representation. So they need to identify the object and also how the object would look like when held in a human hand. So I think basically the gestures, I think those kind of questions is also quite interesting, like drawing a particular gestures of a given with a given object. So that was one question. And also combining with another object or combining or selecting one of the images, creating another useful object also. So it is also a connected question from that particular part. And this kind of question is quite unique also, which we have not seen in past years. But the kind of creating useful object from the another was there, but the other one was interesting this year. And I think the old NID examination question papers have these kind of questions, like around 5 or 6 years back. The GDPD questions have these sort of questions, but around COVID time, these kind of questions were not there. After COVID time, these kind of questions were not there, and it's quite interesting. Like, and it is going back on time and giving these kind of questions. And the last and final question there was a conversation between a philosopher and youth, and from this conversation, some two MCQs were has been asked, and they have to design a game, and that was one of the highlighted question and newly introduced question this year, the game design. And they need to give a write-up also. And Suraj sir has already mentioned these year some of the questions they need to write the write-ups regarding or to explain the question. And most of the students mentioned this specifically, like for this year's examination, the write-ups were like more comparing to the last year's. So that was one highlighted thing about this year's examination.
So
And
we have also got a comment saying that was probably the toughest question. Ecumic is probably talking about the last question. I think
yes, the
that
game design.
this one, and probably the first one, sir, were those two probably the ones that stood out. Finding four solutions, sitting in the exam hall, and finding four solutions about people who are fighting regarding the leaves. Probably those two things were the most time consuming. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think in the question, I guess they have specifically mentioned about not cutting the trees. I think that was one pre-proposed idea. So they completely what avoid that particular answer
So,
for the
guys, just in
question.
case you guys are trying to be smart, let's just stop it there. That's not going to work out.
Yes, I think that was the clear ideation from the NID. So that was one highlighted question, and the game design. And specifically the game design kind of question, we see that in the MDes only. I think it is the first time they have been introducing a game design for the Bachelor of Design question. So that is quite interesting also. I think every year NID is introducing some unique, some different questions. I think last year it was a space layout, and this year it's game design. So every year they are including uh, a different genre of question to the Bachelor of Design students, and it's quite interesting also.
Okay, so I guess that is it. Most of the questions have been covered. We hope that your exams were really nice. Most of you were able to, sort of write well, complete the questions, attempt all the questions. Those are things that are very, very important, right? Now, if any of you need free NID NIFT or UCEED mock papers, which THiNC is providing, you can join our education space, free education space. Actually, it's THiNC space in WhatsApp. So, or if you want, you can also WhatsApp us at 8129 111 226. Okay, but the number was not by heart for me. Okay, going to the next slide. So the last two things we've already mentioned that. So we have a UCEED short-term course that's coming up, UCEED RapidX, exclusively for UCEED. And for NIFT, we have a short-term revision revamp batch that's coming up, NIFT Accelerate. Okay, so if you want to join in these batches of THiNC Institute, or you want to know about what are the other batches that THiNC Institute is providing, you could obviously contact us at the number that's provided. Okay. We hope the NID session was useful. We had at THiNC Institute conducted a lot of live classes, and also THiNC's curiosity sessions that were conducted, curiosity quizzes that were conducted. So we hope all those were useful. We won't be stopping here. We would be coming up for the IIT-U CEED entrance exams and also for the NIFT. Let's not also forget JEE BArch, which is scheduled for the 30th of January. So for everything, we would be coming up with lives. Keep letting us know what are the kind of questions that you need, what are the kind of suggestions, topics that you need. We would definitely be coming up. And if you have any further queries, you can contact us either in the WhatsApp numbers that are provided or text us, DM us at THiNC Institute Instagram. Okay. So until we see in the next session, this is me and Sachin sir from THiNC Institute of Design and the host signing off. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, host.
Thank you.